Hey, welcome up, listeners, back to the Overwatch podcast. Chad here, Evan sitting here talking about just how the show went before we handle some business. But what do you think about it? It was our two-parter today, our first two-parter.
Today's episode, I think, was... I mean, we're getting better and better at this. I think
it's getting smoother.
You know, I think we have good intentions with this podcast, and today's PTSD episode was... we didn't want to open up our episode 1 about the PTSD. We kind of wanted to lead into it, but I think it went really well.
Right.
Two amazing guests. We had Armando Trujillo from the local vet center, talking about the different services they offer, and then we had Julio Torres, our good brother. They're both good brothers of ours.
Oh, totally.
Talking about his service animal training.
I think because we're friends with them mainly. It started maybe through the vet center. I know for sure. Like for you said specifically, you met those guys first at the vet center, and I a lot of my dealings with both of them because I worked at the vet center for a period of time here in Bakersfield, so I get to know them that way. But being friends with them, you rarely hear them talk the way they did today on the show about things. You're more smoking and joking,
right.
Shooting the shit.
To actually see them and they're professional.
But just, like so professionally locked on about it, and the passion that both of them had for helping veterans, turn around that kind of the runaway train.
I think after last week's episode about the stolen valor, this kind of brought it home a little bit, and we joked around a little bit. It's a good episode.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good one.
It was good. On that note, let's talk about the people that brought us this episode, right? And it's something I think we're going to talk about in the future a little bit is all the loans that are out there, and one of them is the VA home loan, which in theory is guaranteed, but I know a lot of guys run into some hurdles when they're looking to get that started. But we've got the connection for you right here, and it's Mike and Sherry George at Agape Mortgage. And Mike and Sherry, I can testify to, are just great folks and really, really passionate about helping really anyone, but veterans specifically. They've been helping for over a decade. They're local here in Bakersfield and Kern County. And they're backed by the power of the Sierra Pacific Mortgage Companies, which is one of the largest in the nation. So it's not just some rinky-dink operation. They got some say. So when you're ready to look for a home and you want to get that VA home loan approved, you go and see Mike and Sherry at Agape Mortgage to get pre-approved for that VA loan and have that confidence that you need to really find the home for you. To find out more about them, visit their website at www.agapemgtco.com. I'll spell the whole thing out now. It's www.agapemgtco.com, or by calling them, which might be easier, at 661-324-2427. And the total package here, we have another sponsor, Linda Benalis with the Bakersfield Real Estate Group, another, like Mike and Sherry, she's been with us for all the shows. And Linda knows everything there is to know, again, about the VA home loan and how that whole process works for a veteran buying a home. She can find that perfect home for you that fits you and your family, because we all have got different size broods. Some of us have cable, some of us don't, so we have more kids or less kids.
Some of us have 1 kid, some of us have 5.
Practice makes perfect, though, right? The 5th one's going to turn out real good. So for more information, check out Linda's personal website at lindabenalis.com. It's LindaBanales.com. Or call the Bakersfield Real Estate Group at 661-368-3770. All right, and again, we have a little bit of our other sponsor for today's episode, who brought us our guests, Armando Trujillo and Julio Torres, is real estate agent Terry Bender with Golden Empire RE/MAX. Terry is a friend of mine, and she'll treat you right. Again, if you're looking for a home, she knows how to find it, and she can put you in it. So to find out more about Terry, give her a call at 661-330-6778. And that's it for the business. I mean, I think we've teased him enough, right?
Yeah, man. Hey, this is a great episode, guys. Look forward to it. Cue the intro music.
When a new enemy attacked America on the morning of September 11th, 2001, they had unknowingly awoken a sleeping giant.
From all over the nation, men and women left their family and friends, their lives and their home, and answered the call to arms.
They came from north, south, east, and west. They became soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, and Coast Guardsmen.
As of today, hundreds of thousands of Americans have served for what is now their nation's longest war.
More and more of them are returning home, fighting new and personal wars on many different fronts.
But they are not alone, and they are not forgotten. Their battles are our battles. And while they fight these battles,
we are their Overwatch.
right, everybody, fall in.
Yeah, buddy.
You caught me off guard right there.
All right.
All right, this is part 2 of our PTSD episode. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for rejoining us. I hope by now you guys have already listened to an episode, at least one so far. If you don't, this is your first time and for some reason you want to listen to part 2 before part 1, I'm Chad Man, joined by my brothers Joe and Evan. We've got Wesley here, and our special guest for part 2 is our brother Julio, who's been here for 2 other episodes as well. He's here to talk to us about the training dog program that he's involved in, that he runs, and we're going to get into detail and talk about...
now, were you a Marine?
I definitely was.
And I'm going to correct myself. It's service animal. Sorry, man. I caught myself on that.
Service dog, service animal, emotional support dog, best friend, whatever.
But which is what we wanted you to have. Wanted you to come in here. This is one of the first episodes we wanted to get in and for you to talk about, because it's a really, really good program, man. But and they're good for a lot of things. We were just talking about before you came in. We were talking about triggers for PTSD and getting startled at different things. And Joe brought up, maybe we should talk about real quick some of the funny stories.
I don't know nothing about that. I was Coast Guard.
No, I mean, have you guys ever done anything kind of...
Still in Valor. It all comes full circle.
It's everywhere. Have you guys ever done anything kind of like reacting to a loud noise? Kind of, I don't know.
I'll be the first to admit to I probably don't have any particular stories that I can drop, but I am the biggest sissy now when it comes to loud noises and such. And it's like, it's not that I cower in a corner when I hear one, but I react to it violently, like, turning, just anything. It could be any sudden loud noise. We get a broom. We have a broom in our house. We've been sweeping up. We've got these wood floors, and we got 3 kids. There's crumbs everywhere. And the broom, you know how a regular, not a push broom or anything, but the kind of the one you get for the corners, has an angle on it slightly.
Right.
So if you try to stand it up, it wants to lean to a certain direction. And we always try to put it on a door jamb or something like that where it's going to hook in there, but it never fails every time. Or I'll go past it in my wheelchair. That's the worst. And brush it just slightly, and it goes, whack right on the floor.
Well, that's just a learning point, Evan. You should know that you never ever store a broom on its bristles. You always either hang it up or store it upside down.
Learn something new every
So
day.
I'm trying to share some real emotional stuff with you here, Jeff. And all I get is, I have a father already.
I'm just saying, hey, helpful tips. I'm trying to help you.
Vila.
I'm trying to help you.
For the bristles. What you do? You know what I do is I
Very
spend
good, Tim.
$3 on another broom when it goes out.
What about you, Joe West?
Okay, go ahead, Joe. I'll let you go.
Well, no, I think I was thinking back to my very first time. I was still on active duty, and I had never had any type of reaction to anything ever. And I'm on Fort Bragg, and I'm walking from Clothing and Sales, the mini mall, there off Riley Road. And I'm walking, I think I'm headed back to my car. And I don't know what it was. Looking back on it, it must have been a car backfiring or something like that. But all of a sudden, I just jumped to the ground. And I'm by myself in the parking lot. I mean, there are other people walking around, and I'm on the ground, and I'm like...
You're taking cover?
Yeah, I'm like, what happened? And I look up, and I get up, and I act like I'm tying my shoe or something like that. And I was just like, what is that? I mean, it was so humorous to me, because it had never happened. I wasn't scared. I quickly identified, hey, that was a car. I wasn't under attack. There wasn't artillery or anything like that. But it was the first time I'd ever noticed that.
It was just like muscle memory.
Oh yeah, and I laughed. I mean, it was, it's humorous to me now, because quite honestly, like, it happens to me more now than it did 6 years ago.
We were in the Chow Hall watching a movie, like a burnt copy of the first Hulk movie they made that was horrible in like 2003 or something.
John Woo version?
Yeah, John Woo, yeah. They sent it over, and we were watching it in the Chow Hall, and someone had a negligent discharge on a saw. It was a Pogue from Motor T, and he fired into he was standing there, and everybody in this entire room, in this entire cafeteria, hit the deck, except for me, who's sitting in the chair going, what? Huh? And they were like, incoming! People were saying stuff like that. So it never happened to me until, like 4 years later. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
No, my incident's kind of like that one, Evan. I was back on a medical leave for my second deployment in 05-06, and I was actually visiting some civilian friends that I had when I worked civilian before I joined the military. And I worked at a lube shop here local in Bakersfield, and just visiting some friends, hanging out with them at the lube shop, making plans for later on that day. Like we're gonna go drink and have a couple beers or something, and somebody decided it would be funny to throw some firecrackers into one of the pits.
Oh, what?
And it was just them, joking around, and that person just threw them, and they went off, and everybody like doing this, and I'm just like just laughing. I'm like, I don't have those kind of reactions, it was explained to me a long time ago why, but I just don't react.
So you've gone the other way with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what we're talking about.
I got that.
I just laugh.
When incoming fire,
Right.
like I'd walk to cover, kind of thing, like whatever.
And I'll say for the most part, like I don't react to things. It's just loud, sudden noises.
It's more for me if I don't see it.
Yeah.
If I see,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm looking at a road and a car backfires, I'll see it. But it's when it happens, or even at night, if a car backfires and I'm like walking around my neighborhood or sticking my head out looking for get gunshots or something.
But on that same note, in that same line, like I took my one of my daughters down to an amusement park down in Southern California the year before, and I did not have fun at all. Like I was on the roller coasters and things. I didn't find those rides to be entertaining or exhilarating.
Like this.
Or exhilarating. I was. Yeah, and so yeah. I don't know if that's going to translate well on the podcast arena, but on the video,
the thrill is gone.
So yeah, but I just find things that a lot of people find exhilarating to be unexhilarating, which is why a lot of veterans they get back. They get out of the military, they buy motorcycles, they take up hobbies like skydiving, rock climbing, those things that have a little bit higher of a danger factor, I think, because, I don't, did roller coasters excite you anymore, Julio?
No.
Anything excite you anymore, Julio?
That you can talk about.
Guy.
No. Motorcycle, yeah, I got a motorcycle when I got out, just because I needed that rush, and it was... But I lost it.
So this kind of leads us into the service animal thing that treatment that you run. Loud noises and stuff. Dogs are man's best friend, man. They're our best companions. I mean, if you don't love dogs, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? So you offer. You want to just go into detail real quick about what it is? I mean, most people I think are used to seeing a service animal with the vest, and it says PTSD, service animal, ask to pet, and aside from that, that's all that they know.
Yeah.
You want to kind of go into detail from point A to point Z and just kind of tell us what it is?
So basically how it started was in 2012, prior to getting out of the Marine Corps. I got a service dog for myself through Sherry's Project Wounded Warrior Pack down in San Diego in Oceanside. And she, after waiting from other organizations to get my service dog that I was on the list for, was about a year and a half I was on the list. She got me a dog within 10 minutes of talking to her on the phone. And ever since then, I just kept up with the program. My dog graduated pretty quickly. And that's the difference between our service dogs and many others. They're not our pets. They work for us. And when they work for us, it helps us cope with everything that's going on around us. And it's just, I got out, came here, and she asked me to help one of the veterans here in Kern County, and I did. And ever since then, we just both collaborated, and I told her this is for me here to keep me busy. So ever since then, it's just got pretty big, and now I'm here at Wounded Heroes Fund, and we just kind of collaborated also to help out more veterans to get into Wounded Heroes Fund, and also to pull veterans from Wounded Heroes Fund into the service dog program that didn't know about it. So, and
it also helps with not just PTSD, but TBI. And elements.
PTSD, TBI, military sexual trauma victims, and service dogs are not just for military. A lot of people think they are, but they're not. They're with through the Americans with Disabilities Act. Anybody with mental illness. They no longer walking, they're in a wheelchair, or they just can't do day-to-day functions like everybody else. But it just recently changed September 15, 2010, where our service animals are in play for our military. It came out big, huge, real huge. But I didn't get into it until 2013, and a lot of people through the base were getting service dogs, and these service animals were doing more wonders than the medications we had to take, or more than talking to civilian psychiatrists and all the other stuff. So
you got a companion.
exactly.
Yeah, so talk about that. What type of benefits are the animal providing to the owner?
So when we started out the training, what we do is different from a lot of organizations. You can get a dog and they just hand you a dog that they trained, and you don't know this dog. What we do is we put you with the dog. We team you with the dog that matches you. Basically, we don't just hand you a dog and say, here, you're gonna train with it. But through the training that we provide is, on a daily basis, and you're learning to create a natural bond between each other that you cannot create with anybody else because nobody understands you. So every day you're training specific training techniques to cope with your disabilities. Let's say your anxiety. We have you training hand in hand with your dog next to you. This leads down to if you have nightmares, your dog's going to be there for you. I had a service dog, his name was Zeus, and everybody knew him, everybody loved him, that I handed off to Wesley because Wesley was going through some bad times, and even though it was hard for me to hand him over, I was just trying to help a brother out, and sure enough, he had him, and I don't know, Wesley, I don't know how he did for you.
Oh, he was amazing.
He,
besides being a companion, it was somebody I could take care of, somebody that I could, a partner in crime, basically, and I was never alone without that with him.
Yeah, unfortunately, he passed though, and some complications and stuff, and that was pretty hard on the both of us. But I continue to do this to help the veterans out there that the same things that I went through. I wish somebody could help us, and the program. A lot of veterans, here, they don't really think that it's free, but when they actually go through the training, they really see that it is free.
So how does the process work? I mean, what's involved legally or paperwork wise, kind of?
Now, it's probably important that we should note that this is this process with you, not with every service dog program out there.
So the way the paperwork works here is that we have to see a form of any kind of disability that you're rating to. If you're seen at the vet clinic for psychiatric help, if you're rated for post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, and military sexual trauma. There has to be a form of paperwork that you are being seen for it or treated for it or have been diagnosed for it. And with that, that's all we need to see in the honorable discharge also from the military.
Okay.
We range from Vietnam to post 9/11. Everybody's welcome into the program as long as they meet the requirements. And then once that's done, we find you either a dog, we'll purchase if we have the funds available, or I run through Mount Vernon Animal Shelter, service dog, actually pet rescues here, all kinds of places. People call me to donate their dog, but the dogs, they fall under a certain age, so 6 months to 2.5 years, and no longer pit bulls or huskies. So that's one of the hard ones because a lot of veterans have pit bulls for some reason. I don't know what it is, but
also I want to add that both me and Joe are currently going right now. Joe's been going, and I've gone twice, right?
Yeah, we actually, so Boulder actually technically is like the Wounded Heroes Fund service dog.
Right.
Yeah,
mascot.
so mascot. Yeah, there we go.
Right, so we go.
We need to get his photo taken, really. Huh?
And I've been taking my knucklehead, and that's hard because while I'm gone all day, my wife corrupts her. So I mean, because you did say that it's not a pet, and while I'm gone.
What kind of dog are we talking about here, though? You said no huskies or pit bulls. Chad, are you talking about your Chihuahua?
No.
Drop the chalupa.
I got that blue Doberman.
Doberman, he's got a beautiful Doberman.
Beautiful.
But it could be a Chihuahua.
The only ones I ever see pictures of are your Chihuahuas.
Well, the main dogs that are used for service animals or service dogs are, Golden Retrievers, Labradors, and German Shepherds. Tend to be the best dogs out there, but we have, what is yours?
A boxer.
Yeah, a boxer.
Yeah.
We got boxers. I had Bull Mastiffs. I had Chihuahuas. I had Pomeranians, Rottweilers, all kinds of dogs. It just, for some reason, no longer.
Now, I had a guy contact me the other day and tell me that he had a service lizard.
That no.
Come on.
No, that cannot happen.
I mean, he had a service. I think. What are the starts with an M?
Actually, want one now.
Reptile.
He said he had 4, and he said they were certified. They were their therapy animals, and this.
Well, technically, there is no real certification for a service animal There's no federal certification. So, but there is certification through certain organizations just to show your dog's completed training and this and
right.
that.
That was the other question I was wondering, because like I know I've heard stories of people getting kicked, like they'll have a service animal and go into a store or something, and the store's like, sorry, no.
Just because you could actually buy a vest from Amazon,
right?
For like $14, and it says service animal, and people pose their animals as such, and that's a lot of things that we come through here. But you can tell the difference between our service dogs versus the other ones. The other ones, they'll jump around, they'll sniff, they'll go around. Our dogs are disciplined. They're working dogs. I train them to the best I can, to the best of their ability for the handler, the veteran, so that they can protect them 110%. They're working all the time. And the dogs know the difference. Once the coat comes off, the training collar comes off, and they're at home, it's puppy time. They're at home. But when that coat comes back on, it's like our uniform. We're ready to rock on.
I noticed it with Zeus when I met him. You guys?
I corrupted Zeus though.
He did actually.
I
actually had to bring Zeus back to training just because he turned him into a turd.
I pet him too much. He was like, I mean, like everything.
He did. Well, yeah.
I love the heck out of that dog.
But I mean, it's kind of hard not to hug such an animal.
I mean,
like
in
that.
a lot of respects, the animals take on the characteristics of their owners, do they not?
It's very true. It's very true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, Zeus was one of the best service dogs out there. I can call command a split second between each other, and he performed. Like when I took Wesley out to the park to introduce him for the first time, and I'm pretty sure Wesley was amazed. But I mean, it is, you get out of the program what you put into it. A lot of veterans, they come, it's 10 weeks minimum, a year the longest, and for some reason a lot of veterans like it take up a year. I don't want anybody there past 10 weeks just because I want them to be back out in the, back in society, being quote unquote normal, and I just want to be back out there and reap the benefits that I got out of it when I had a service animal, and it does wonders. It does a lot, through your nightmares, to your anxiety out in public, and everything else. I was able to go back, to the movies and everything. And even though I don't have my service dog now, I had him for about almost 2 years, and he taught me a lot along the way.
You were able to eventually
exactly
you be unleashed.
Yeah, so he was helping me cope with all the anxiety issues that I had, and even though he's not here now, I can still go out now and remember all the techniques that he taught me.
Right.
So that reminds me of that video kind of floating around the internet. I think maybe you shared it with me, or I shared it with you.
Was he a sheriff?
But the guy was having a dream, and he was in combat.
Yeah.
And he was
the dog was licking him,
and the dog was licking him, and the dog was licking him awake in
exactly.
that really happened.
No, yeah,
right.
It always happens, and I was amazed the first time that Zeus did it for me. I don't have the nightmares anymore like every night, but every so often I did, and the nights I woke up in sweat and crying for no reason, and I wasn't aware of what was going on. He was there on my chest. A big 120-pound English black Labrador sitting on my chest. But to me, wake up out of that and to see him there, my companion, it was the best feeling in the world. It brought me back and let me know I'm home.
Right.
And it does. And that's why I love this training, and this is why I love what I do. And I hated dogs growing up. I was always chased by Rottweilers, Pit Bulls. I was bit a lot, and I hated them. But now I come to love them all the time. I got to be at the shelter. I got to see what dogs are in there. I feel bad for all of them. And but me going out there training to help another veteran to, like I said, reap the benefits of what I went through, I always do it 100% free for the rest of my life. I love it. I love to see the expression of the veteran's face once they're completed the graduation and all that. All the training through the training, it's a roller coaster. From the beginning, I call the dog sack of potatoes because the training collar, when you do little snap techniques and stuff, they drop like a sack of potatoes. They don't want to do it anymore. But after,
that was one of the hardest days. I'm not a big dog guy either, but Boulder, who's our boxer, that was one of the hardest days. He did not want to lay down, and watching him, teaching him how to lay down on command, man, you about broke my heart.
I know. There's certain training techniques that we have to go through to get our dogs to, to get it right. Yeah, pretty much. And I always explain to the veterans, there's going to be times in the training they're not going to like, but this is necessary to get to where we need to be.
Right. And that's life, right?
Exactly, and it is. Because like I said, these dogs, they're not our pets anymore. They're our service. They're here to work for us. But then during the training towards the end, and then towards when we're graduated and after, to us it's not like they're working anymore. But that's my buddy, my battle buddy. He's there to watch my back. So we do all the training techniques like, hey, the 6, he's going to watch my back. If I'm in public talking to somebody, I don't want anybody sneaking up behind me like we always do in public, right? Like when we go out to dinner and you don't want to go, but you go because your family wants you to, but you always sit your back towards the wall but facing the door.
Always.
But there was times when I had my service dog, and a lot of the vets have their service dog go out in public, they can have their back towards the door because their dog's watching their back. And if your anxiety's climbing up, your dog's there to tug on you or to push on you, anything. They let us know what's going on before we know it's happening. So,
well, the training, is that like one night a week kind of thing? I mean, you said 10, so it's a 10-week program, or 10 week to a year. But I mean, how many days a week?
So depending on my work days for the weekends now, Saturday or Sunday, and it's 09 in the morning at Almondale Park. It's a great park. It's open. It's nice and cool there. Not a lot goes on there, so that's why I chose it. We were at Beach Park before, and it's just like baseball games, lowrider competitions, and it was like I love all that stuff, but I can't do it because it took away from the dog's training, and the veterans their anxiety started climbing more than it should be. So
sure,
that's probably where I should take my chihuahuas to the lowrider competition.
I mean, and you'll soon be able to take your Doberman everywhere. That's the great thing about the training and the completion. You get the certificate. We have a lawyer that backs us up. That's retired gunner sergeant in the Marine Corps. And it's great because we can go into any public area that's local and state, whether it be, Denny's or the courthouse or the movies or anything like that. We can go anywhere we're available to go. Our dogs also. If they serve the public, they serve our dog. So, and we were kind of one of the first organizations to start the whole, the tricolor digi coats and all this other cool patches and everything. Because, your dog's coat tells your story. And it's funny because a lot of people will walk up to the service dog and look at you and be like, oh, did he serve in Afghanistan? And it's like, because the dog's carrying all the patches. And you're like, yeah, he did. But it's great.
Stolen valor.
Yeah. Hey, now I also heard you have the ability or certified, is it the miniature horses?
Yes,
can be,
actually. So yeah,
I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying he has 3 in his backyard.
I do.
Hold up,
my Bouderos.
Let's talk about that.
So I was told by I was told about 6 months ago by the founder Sherry Waters that so every veteran rates 2 service dogs. You can have 2 service dogs, but also she told me 6 months ago they put in play that you could have a service miniature horse. So I instantly went on Craigslist and tried
just to be safe. Is that on top of my 2 dogs already? Because I don't want to.
I would think it's only a service miniature horse or 2 service dogs.
That might actually work for me because I can ride that.
So it's a weight based.
Now we have a horse trail.
You had the 2 dogs and the horse. That's a lot of poop, man.
What about a porpoise? Is there?
Yeah, I don't know. Dolphin tail.
The smartest animal. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think it would be pretty awesome to have a miniature horse service animal because you can put a little trailer on them, take you to the store, or the bar.
I could ride that thing.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah.
They're perfect for hobbits. Yeah.
Yes, you could, Chad.
I could get a spear.
I could actually look more into that because I didn't look too much into it because I was like, no, this can't be true. But since it came out of her mouth, I believed her. So I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe we need to get one.
Yeah, we need to look.
I think
I go for a service peacock.
There's some at Hart Park.
Yeah.
We can find them
up. Yeah.
You gotta let them fly.
But that's cool. That's cool though. I can see somebody who lives like in a country environment. Obviously, if someone who lives like in a city isn't going to get a miniature horse. But I mean,
actually, we have a horse trail that goes around our house every Sunday morning. Right there in the middle of town, you see guys on there's 3 miniature horses with little carts, and they ride them down the road on a little
the
cart.
Old Indian style.
Seen, like,
Bonanza hat with the feathers.
They're like
they're
harnesses.
just trail riding.
Yeah, trail
That's
riding.
cool.
My wife's
Yeah.
out there. She's looking.
And
Actually,
I'm right.
Actually, Chad, they passed us when we were training on Saturday.
Why have you not videotaped
Really?
this?
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna be on the look.
All right, I'm out of town this Sunday. Next Sunday, we'll have videotape
Yeah, I
of
want
the
some video
miniature
of
horses.
But
I'll
that's-
stop them.
Mini horse.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah,
Well,
You can put it on our web.
too.
You
There
put
was,
it.
there was an organization here in Kern County that had a miniature horse. I don't think they're still in existence, but they did have a service miniature horse. They would have veterans come over and practice and take care of him for a couple hours or something.
I have a tattoo of a miniature horse.
Obviously, obviously, a miniature
Including
horse
the
is going to wake
pirates?
you up at night. Obviously,
Nar.
a miniature horse is going to wake you up at night and sit on your chest and lick you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what are the benefits?
I have no idea. That's why I said I'll look into it to make sure.
He can train anything.
I actually, you know what?
The way
It's
it was
true.
explained to me by that organization is that by taking care of an animal, you learn to take care
Yeah, it's
of
like
things.
marriage.
Yeah,
blah,
exactly.
blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
It's the same kind
So-
of. It's just
I'm
a
being
scaled down
smart.
version of
Hey,
equestrian therapy.
I will vouch for Julio though. He can train anything. We call him the dog whisperer.
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
But,
be careful.
I
I think
trained
that's
a cat,
copyrighted.
right?
Kids-
I've
taking
seen
a
him.
couple
I've
kids
seen
out
it
of
in
line.
person. I've seen it with my own two eyes. He made a cat
wait.
sit.
No.
No way, like I really did.
That's
Yeah,
No.
within 10 seconds. He
10
went to a
seconds,
cat
I made
and
a
made
cat sit.
sit.
Hey, you got a picture of
Whoa,
that somewhere?
poacher,
Yeah, you have a photo of that somewhere.
Actually, we do.
All right,
We
so
do-
when
we
that
do
thing
have
posts, I want you to post a picture
Okay,
of the
perfect.
dog
Yeah,
sit, or the
Guys, you
cat
took a
sitting
picture
for
while I
you.
was doing that.
Did you?
know.
Were you doing the thing?
I can't give away my secrets, but if you come out on the training, I can show you. I'm gonna have to show you. So, yeah, but training's great. I encourage.
How much is it?
It's free.
All right.
$3.99. You know,
Free.
it's a nonprofit organization, so we don't make anything off it. I do it out of the kindness of my heart, and I want to help my brothers and sisters out there that are going through some traumatic times in their life, and to help them, readjust back here where we don't know what to do out here when we first get out, or we don't know, we don't know of everything that's out there. So, and it's not only the dog training. I promote, the Wounded Heroes Fund and stuff out there. Pet Matchmaker Rescue that Morgan, she donates the dogs to us too. Also the Mount Vernon Animal Shelter, they help us out.
Right.
I mean, it's multiple places that help this program run. So I mean, it's great to know that we have so many people backing us up. Ben's group.
Armed Force Support Riders.
I didn't want to mess it up. Yeah, they donated Petco cards to us, so we could get everybody their food, the leashes, what we could, and it was great.
Nice.
Oh.
And
I bought your dog, Joe.
Oh yeah.
No more crying.
So
I saved him.
yeah, that's good stuff.
And
That's good stuff.
And you get to at the same time, you're getting some hours out there with like-minded people too. I mean, not only dogs,
Yeah.
but you're getting veterans who are going. Obviously, they're going through some of the same things because you're all in need of this, service animal. Or you have a desire for it. So you're again bringing people together as much as you are. Letting them split up with their.
We
their
have
dog.
great groups out there. I mean, at first everybody's just like, and they all break apart. But then afterwards, they're just, they're talking like you did back in the military. I mean, we're amongst brothers and sisters that somewhere down the line did some of the things that we did or didn't.
Right.
It's just it's a great
And
feeling.
we were talking on episode one, on part one of this episode about different ways of coping, different ways of dealing with PTSD and whatnot. So I'm sure you get a lot out of it, right? I mean, you said it earlier. I mean, there's things that you get out of your training, watching other people succeed, watching other dogs succeed. So it helps you. So you're gaining stuff out of it as well.
Yeah.
It's like a round robin of support, which goes to show of how much veterans working together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And really,
Take care of each other.
it's learning patience, right?
Oh.
Because we're talking about that
Definitely.
startle response, but a lot of what some of the symptoms of PTSD is just having we don't have patience anymore.
No, we don't.
And so they're even if it's not a dog or a PTSD dog or a lizard or a miniature horse.
or a cat.
Minus the lizard.
But working with animals in general, I know we have another program where we'll send couples to go work with horses.
Yeah, horse.
Because you can't rush a horse.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh no.
They'll
rush you.
Unless it's got a pee, right? There's nothing you're going to do to rush a horse.
Anaconda.
So there are folks that are again in Kern County that are listening to this, and so they're thinking, well, how do I get how do I get a service dog? Are there national organizations that you know of that are good organizations?
Well, Sherry's project is like I said, based out of Oceanside, California, like the main project. Mm-hmm. But she, just like me, I'm an extended trainer out here. She's got multiple other ones in different states here, and I just can't remember them where they're at. But there's a ton of places. If you could just go on her Facebook.
She has a website?
Yeah, she has the website. Just look up Sherry's Project Wounded Warrior Pack, and you'll see everything on there from our Facebooks to everything. So all the other training areas that she has extended out. So it's great. I mean,
it's nationwide.
And it's not, and a lot of veterans out there got to understand, you're not just getting a service dog to work for you, because what's great about this program also is that not only is the service dog learning to help and work around you, you're also learning yourself, patience and work around your dog also.
So you're almost like tricking someone to learn skills.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning with it right now. I mean, like I said, I leave to go to work and come home. My wife, I feel like she's corrupting. Like Saturday will be good. No, Saturday will be good. Me and my dog's name's Khaleesi, the Doberman. We'll do good. She'll do great. We'll spend the whole day together. It'll be awesome. Or maybe like today, Tuesday, I'll go and I'll do some training, like you said, 30 minutes a day. But by the time I go to the next class, it's like I'm starting from scratch.
She's contaminated.
She's contaminated, and it's like, So I mean.
Well, that's what I always tell the veterans that come through the program, because originally these dogs come as family dogs when you get them, but then you come to the program and now they're got to be service dog, working animals. You just got to sit there and explain to your significant other.
This is not my young.
Yeah, your significant other or your children too. Like, hey, I'm going through hard times. I need this for me, and they'll understand. They always do. That's what family's for.
Yeah.
So just cut down the puppy.
I think sometimes you probably have the same. Yeah, my wife would have a real hard problem treating a dog like an employee because she just wants to baby him all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happened when Zeus.
It's not that. It's not
that. I would love the heck out of Zeus, and then when he would see him, he was like, "No."
I was like, "You're a nasty little turd."
Yeah, that was the first time.
Even you're just using these dogs is what you're
But even without any real training, I remember when Zeus died, and we hadn't had Boulder very long, probably about a month or so.
Yeah.
And so we all went out. So Wesley, myself, and Boulder went out. We went for a hike, and I was just able to watch the amount of care and attention that Boulder put towards Wesley, and without really any training at all. I mean, he was only like 12 weeks old, 12 to 16 weeks old. And just watching him, they just have a sense that they know when to care on people, and for us, that's what Boulder's all about, because he's sort of he is the family dog for Wounded Heroes Fund as we go out and do outings and we point people towards the service dog program, and so. Man, I'm just blown away by what I've seen you do with these animals, and then having dealt with a lot of these veterans prior to them having the service animal, and watching their ability to get out into the community, their ability to love their children and let their children hug on them and love on them. It's been incredible, and I want to say, you've done a great job. If we didn't highlight this before, you get no financial compensation for any of this. You do this out of your own free time. Wesley provides massages, foot rubs, and date nights.
Other compensation,
but other than that, there's you don't gain anything from this, and I think that's commendable. And I just want to throw that out there because I know you're not going to, and no one else is.
I do gain a lot from it. I mean, I get to see. I see, that veteran that's hurting, change. I don't want to say this is like the happy pill, but I do see the big change from beginning to the end, and it does help them down the road. I mean, not only for themselves, but for the family too. Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. And these dogs, their natural sense is to aim to please. So they're here, like you were saying with Boulder, just watching him for that little minute or whatever, seeing how he just naturally tends to somebody's hurting. I mean, that's what they do.
Well, heck, we did that 3-hour drive last week, to go to Merced, from Rikers to Merced, to pick up my future service dog.
I'm there for everything.
She's only 2 months old right now, but we picked her up last week, and we made that 3-hour drive there and 3-hour drive back. And the whole time Julio was, came with me. Julio made sure everything, and hopefully this is a right fit,
Yeah, to me, I felt bad.
You guys want a hug?
We'll hug after this.
Okay. Don't worry about it, Joe.
Yeah,
this is our thing.
we'll do a different kind of hug. Yeah, I felt bad when I handed Zeus over in within months.
We're just gonna step back.
Yeah, he passed, unfortunately, but I was hurting, especially because he was my service dog. But I felt bad because when I handed him over, a couple months passed, and it's like he lost him right away. So that was an honor for me to go down and pick up his dog with him. Just like when I got Boulder for Joe, to give him to him at his house and to see his face in there. That's what I love to see. I love to see people happy. So.
Yeah, and we weren't, prior to Boulder, we were not, the Drollards were not dog people.
Nobody ever is.
Yeah, we're not. But now we are.
Yeah. I don't know. And just so everybody knows, me and Julio have shared custody of Susan's ashes. So, yeah,
we switch off.
Yeah.
You two, we're going to...
I'm serious. You want a hug?
Yeah.
I mean...
You know what? Frago, the next episode, episode 5, is going to be the love story of Wesley. We had a 3-hour drive together. We started...
after September 2013, it's allowed.
I was back in the don't ask, don't tell days. And
these two take full advantage of that.
I do.
So hey, real quick before we wrap this up, do you want to just quickly give local veterans? We've already told about how they can contact national organizations and whatnot. You want to real quick tell for the local guys and gals listening that they want to contact you in regards to.
Do not
your personal number.
I know. Dude, you did that. Dude.
I want to be like Armando and get all everybody. No, can't say that right now. Just reach me out through Windy Heroes Fund. Check out the Facebook page or the website at windyheroesfund.org.
Correct.
windyheroesfund.org.
Yeah, thank you. And just call the office and I'll be there.
And actually now they can even do that through our overwatchpod.com.
Exactly, yes.
Yep.
So maybe what we're saying is it's more on us, right? That we should be better about making sure that our guests' information and how to contact them is on our Facebook page.
We learn as we go. It's a progress.
My contact info will be posted later on the Windy Heroes Fund Facebook page.
Awesome, man.
Yep.
Awesome.
For the local veterans.
Thanks for coming on, man. That was an amazing information. A little bit of detail. Dogs are awesome. It's another piece of the puzzle to helping stop, how bad things have gotten with PTSD and suicide and everything. I think this is a huge benefit for guys like us and gals. I gotta catch myself, man. But
dogs are okay, but Sherry's Project Windy Warrior Pack service dogs are great.
There you go.
That out there.
All right, man.
Plug. Hey, so what do we got next show, Chad?
So the next one we're gonna have is actually gonna be a special episode with Wesley and Evans. Going to be on amputees. We're just gonna talk about everything that they experience as double amputees and more or less just kind of hearing their stories and just kind of getting some good information out there. What are you gonna throw that at me?
Maybe we'll talk a little bit about a fetish known the people who subscribe to this particular fetish are known as devotees, and their thing is amputees.
Yep.
So maybe we'll touch on that. And you go to a few conventions for prosthetic companies, and you run into some of these people in the lobby.
Really?
Yeah.
I learned so much hanging out with you guys.
I know, right?
Well, so that's gonna be our next episode.
You get freaky with that thing?
I thought that'd be a little different. You know what I mean? We'll talk a little bit about their experiences and kind of get the word out about just their stories and whatever kind of information you guys want to put out like that. Like what you just said.
Useful information.
And then after that, we're gonna jump ship over and get into the VA loan process and the GI Bill process. We're gonna have a few episodes on that because that's, I think, next to coping and transitioning. I think using your GI Bill and knowing how to use your VA loan, those are like, not everyone knows everything about that. I mean, so we're gonna get those information out there, and we got some other episodes coming up, some fun episodes planned down the chute. So
yeah, and before we leave today, I do want everybody to know that we are up and running on Twitter. We're up and running on Facebook, and those are in both places. It's Overwatch Podcast. Not to be confused with the video gamers and the Overwatch something.
Yeah,
you guys. know about the video
Yeah.
Well,
game?
let's not
I don't
even
know.
put it in the time. Let's not even
I
put it in the time.
don't know.
Don't even worry about that.
Cut that
So-
out. Cut that out.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't even own a game
Overwatch
system.
podcast.
Never heard of it.
Video
Overwatch
game.
podcast.
And so you can check us out there. You can actually communicate with us. We will respond to any valid communication that you have for us on Facebook or Twitter. Or you can look us up at overwatchpod.com. That's overwatchpod.com.
And unlike Armando, our previous guest, he is taken and he has some diseases, so he's not disease free.
God.
You might want to tell Monica.
My diseases only count in certain countries.
Right.
So we're good here.
Episode 5 will be on their love story. I just want to know how the diseases came to be. Alright.
So there I was. Okay, there we go.
All right,
Hey,
all right.
thanks a lot, man. Please share the information for the podcast. Get the word out there. Help us help you. All right, for Joe, for Evan, for Wesley, for Julio, this is Chad Man out.